I've missed this. I'm
There
really
she is.
excited. Oh,
Um, okay, Sonics.
Oh yeah, where's my Sonic? No, I didn't.
Great start.
There's the intro. Yeah,
Great start. That's the start of season 2.
Wicked
Where's
Sonic.
my Sonic?
And of course, I don't know if anyone's seen, but there's a video he did recently, or an interview where someone's like, "Oh,
Oh, on the radio too.
how do you hold the
Hold it
sonic
upside down.
screwdriver?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you hold it this way." So apparently, that is now the official way to do it, even though it was
I don't
clearly
like that. It
designed
doesn't feel it
clearly
doesn't
designed
feel
to fit in the hand that way. But yeah,
It looks like you're holding a remote control upside down. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah. I
sort of-
guess it's the thinking that you can then operate like the buttons from below, but then how does that work with all the? I don't
That's
know.
just clunky.
Yeah, like
If
you want to be
the
able to see
doctor
what
says
you
that's how
see
you got
what
to
you-
do
what
it,
you're
then
doing.
that's how you
Well,
got to do it.
Yeah,
He's the authority on it.
but yeah, it's not even like you can hold it that way around. It's like that is now apparently
The
the
official way.
official way to do it. But yes, anyway, Sonics. There's a yellow Sonic in this story, the story we're reviewing today. Segue. Yeah, the
I thought
roundtable
you were
reviews are
just
back. Hello, everybody.
announcing a variant of the Sonic that
Oh, I
hadn't
wish.
been released yet.
No, well, I say I wish. Yeah, we were saying beforehand. I've not got any of like the red one yet or anything. But even well, because I thought he quid. But even so, like, I'm surprised they haven't done more of them, like releasing the yellow one and the different colours, and like they need to kind of get on that, I think. But yes, we're back for season 2 of Doctor Who. After that rambling about sonic screwdrivers, the first of the 8 episodes, the 8 reviews, I'm joined by the regular original OG
Loonies.
roundtablers. So we've got Miles, obviously, Pete, and Josh. I've no
There's,
idea
there's
if
currently-
they are going
I
to
don't know
be
if
where
this
I've
is
just pointed to
true.
or not. Yeah.
I don't know if you can confirm or deny this, but there's going round that Richard Love's going to cancel the round table after this series. So I don't know if
Oh.
that's
Are
Well,
Disney
that-
going to buy us? Are
that could
Disney
be a
going to buy the
spin-off in
concept of the
between.
round table?
We'll go to Amazon instead. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to
or
it.
Netflix.
Well, now we'll
Yeah.
go to Dailymotion. We'll go from YouTube to Dailymotion.
That's the
Vimeo
equivalent.
or TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a downgrade.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, episode 1, the robots revolution. Obviously, we were last together to discuss Joy to the World and the trailer for this series, and now it's here. So I suppose first of all, with this, how did we all watch it with the new release schedule? Because they're now 8 a.m, not midnight. They're obviously still on BBC One. I wonder who watched it earliest. I don't think it was me.
Definitely wasn't me.
I don't think it was me either, and I don't think it was Josh. I don't know. I
It was
don't know who
one,
any
one
of
of us.
I watched it at 10 a.m.
Okay, that's about the same as me then, actually. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
I watched
Yeah.
it after lunch, so around 2ish, I think.
more civilized, yeah.
Yeah, it was too sunny outside. I was just like, I want to enjoy the sun, and then I'll come inside
Yeah.
and do it.
No, I was watching with my dad, and we literally had to like put the blind down behind the TV.
Yeah,
It was
it's
like-
that kind of season,
it's
isn't
not-
it? Yeah.
It's different to how it was last year. Different vibe again to get used to. Like, I was there with my breakfast, but yeah, I thought, oh, I'll watch it at 8 a.m. I'll be there, like set an alarm and everything. And then it came to it, and I was like, oh, 'cause I think with the midnight ones, it kind of felt more urgent to me. Whereas with these, because you're literally asleep beforehand, it's like an extra hour or 2 in bed or whatever. Isn't going to make a difference. Like, you're not going to get spoiled, are you? If you're having a line. So, yeah. Do we prefer, or does it have made a difference, a tangible difference? Any
I
preference
almost
between
think
the
that-
8 a.m. and the midnight?
To me, it kind of hasn't changed because for the midnight ones, I don't think there were many that I actually did watch live anyway. So for the most part, it was kind of wait until the morning to watch as we're doing now. Really, I think it just feels to me like Doctor Who has popped up that day, and you've got the day to sort of, it gives you an excuse to not go on Twitter and stay away from the cesspit for a bit. So yeah, I don't mind it really. I think that it's nice to have it as an option. You can watch it earlier in the day, or you can watch it live if you can hold out till the evening really. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think.
I quite liked it as well. Similarly to you, Richard, I watched it with my dad. We watched it not when it dropped at 8 a.m., but a little bit after because he had to go to work later that day. So we were like, okay, we're going to get up and we're going to watch Doctor Who together. And that was really nice. And actually, I quite like this episode, so it put me in a good mood for the rest of the day. So actually, I think that it was a good change. I had no problem with it. I know a lot of people were saying that it's a downgrade from the midnight drop, which coincidentally are also the kind of people who were saying that it was bad when the midnight thing was announced to begin with. Um, but I didn't mind it. It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I preferred the Midnight Watch versions just
Yeah.
because I quite liked having. I think for most of them, I had a mate around or a few mates around who maybe aren't massive Doctor Who fans, but they kind of watch it casually and quite enjoy it. And it was quite nice, kind of leading up to midnight and then clicking play at midnight and watching it. And I don't remember us ever getting a takeaway, but I feel like we must have done at some point. It would have been weird not to get a takeaway from one of them. And we had the cinema midnight screening for the finale, which I know was in the cinema.
We did.
And
yeah.
with a few, maybe just one, but I think there was a few that we watched at conventions as well, because I know that you and me watched one, Rich, which was quite exciting at midnight.
Yeah,
And then we had the
double,
whole
wasn't
day.
it? Yeah, for us. Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah,
I
it'll be
have to say
interesting to see as we go how
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it goes.
It
I
will be
mean,
interesting to see what people prefer overall.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm generally more of an early bird than a night owl, so I suppose that kind of affects it slightly for me as well, because, I'm usually up nice and early anyway, rather than staying up later. So yeah, it just depends on your temperament really, I suppose. But yeah, I'll have to see.
think
We've
time
got,
will
we've got
tell.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
we
It
have.
looks like because it's
one,
quite
one
a
more
dark
week than we had
episode.
last year as well, because there's no double bill
Yes.
this time. So
Yes, that's
bit,
true.
bit
Good
longer.
point. Yes.
Yeah, bit longer.
Yeah.
I think because it's quite
I
a
could
dark
also say,
series as well. Like the midnight drop might have been better for this season, but time will tell. I think it's fine for now. And I think Russell himself said, like with Lux coming out, it's literally a Saturday morning cartoon.
It is.
So-
Yeah.
It works.
I actually watched the episode with a load of other Doctor Who fans as well, which was quite fun. So, because I'd been to see, I don't know if you've heard of him, a guy called Tom Baker that day, and
Has he done something for Doctor Who?
he's done a bit. He's done a bit, but we kind of we didn't have time to watch the episode at 8 a.m. because we were busy setting up the event, and I was volunteering at that one, so we didn't have time to watch it beforehand. So the organizer of the event said, "Well, we'll watch it all together at the end after the convention's finished." Because the convention was meant to finish about 6ish, so we could have, watched it at whatever time it was, 6:30 or 10 to 7 or whatever it was. And then what ended up happening was the convention finished kind of an hour or two earlier than was expected. So we watched it on iPlayer about 4:00, 4:30. So it was quite a nice time watching it with everyone. So yeah, it was good.
I think that
Good
adds
fun.
something, doesn't it? A
special
communal
day,
viewing
yeah.
experience makes it even more special. Yeah. There's always a nice memory attached to it.
Yeah.
Was Tom Baker there as well? Did he watch it?
No, he was off by that point. It was weird though, because I think a lot
Who's
of the,
Belinda Chandra?
I think a lot of the people that were watching it in the room, and I could be completely wrong here, but I think a lot of people that were watching in the room were more classic Who fans, and I don't think they were as invested in the new series. So it's quite interesting to kind of see what the kind of vibes were of the people in the room. Quite a lot of older Doctor Who fans. So it was a different audience to watch it with you guys. So it was interesting.
So I guess the episode itself. What have we got? We've got the big red robot, the Miss Belinda Chandra bots, Miss Belinda Chandra world, Miss Belinda Chandra herself.
Can you imagine all that
obviously-
merchandise if they were still doing all of that? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to
Amazing.
picture that on a packaging.
Did you see that on Russell's Instagram, where the next day I think he posted like a model that they'd mocked up for him, like the props guy or the costume guys or whatever. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god! Like if only that was a figure, it would it'd be brilliant.
I think that their design was one of my favourite aspects of the episode. I loved those big chunky robots, the face that sort of swapped around like the Smilers, and
Yeah.
I think Nick Briggs did a really nice job doing this. It's a nice, like, chunky robot voice. I don't know how else to describe it. It just felt like that's a proper old school robot kind of modulation. It just really worked, and I just think that they they were a really good kind of staple to start the season with and latch on to. You can see why they were used so much in the marketing because they designed a beautiful piece there.
Yeah.
I did
Definitely.
like them. I don't know if anyone else liked them as well.
Yeah.
They reminded
Yeah.
they reminded me of the Sarah Jane Adventures in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Or the
like
ones, is it
the,
dinosaurs on a spaceship that
the
they had
dinosaurs
some
and the
similar
spaceship
ones to
ones
that?
that were also
Hydrofox.
in that CBBC show as well.
Hydroflax, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
reused them.
They reused it, didn't they? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, reminiscent of those robots of old. I suppose. Yeah, let's get into our new companion. The way that was all set up, meeting her. Obviously, someone who's not new to the world of Doctor Who, to the Whoniverse. We met her last year by surprise in Boom. Verada as Mandy Flynn. Now, yeah, Belinda Chandra. What do we think about that? And the whole premise of her waking up in the middle of the night to these robots and being whisked off to outer space, discovering she's this queen. Quite a
I've
different
got a question
different way to
right off the bat here,
start off a
'cause
companion story. Go on.
I've rewatched this. I've watched this twice, so I've made some like notes going through the episode. And the first one is, if Alan was such an awful boyfriend that she hasn't seen in 16 years, then why she got the diploma framed on her wall above her bed? Like, surely she would have got rid of it years ago. Like, I didn't understand that one bit. That seemed a little bit strange to me. But
Maybe-
I thought it was.
It's interesting. Maybe her nursing certificate hasn't been printed yet, so
Yeah,
she's
she-
like, "Well, until
as a
I'll have that as a
placeholder.
placeholder
Yeah.
until I get
Oh,
my
there you go.
actual nursing diploma, and then that can go on there instead."
Okay, I'll say that. Yeah, that's the reason. I thought it was fun. I really liked the absurdity of it. I don't know if you were supposed to. I think you were, but when you first see like the AI generator, I just kind of burst out laughing, thinking this is so bonkers and mad. And the Miss Belinda Chandra bombs and all of these things. It was really fun. And I thought that Belinda made an instant, like, amazing first impression. I thought that Verada Seifu was fantastic in this. And a lot of the reviews for the episode before it came out were saying that she stole the show, and that's absolutely true. I thought she was fantastic in it. And looking back, actually, on Joy's the World, I remember everyone was thinking that Nicola Coughlan was going to be like the Donna of Ncuti's Doctor, which didn't end up being true. But I think that Belinda is definitely in that sort of archetype with the way that she has her dynamic with Ncuti, with the whole timey-wimey and MI6. I thought it was fantastic, and right off the bat, I instantly got a feel of her character. And I think that their relationship being a little bit more, having more friction to it, really brought out different sides to Ncuti's Doctor as well, especially towards the end. So I really liked Belinda. I'm excited to see more of her, definitely.
Yeah, it's a real shift, and it's the total opposite to kind of the Ruby dynamic, because there you had someone who was very much kind of get up and, oh my god, let's go. I think I remember when we were last talking about season 1, kind of saying it was like the kind of dynamic of when you're on a night out and you meet someone and suddenly, like, you're best friends and you don't care, and you'll go and have all these adventures together, and even though you've only just met. So sort of with Belinda, it's kind of like on the night out, it's that one person, like the Doctor's that person she can't shake off, who's like, this guy's really irritating me. I just want to go home. So it's nice to have those kind of two two different dynamics for this season, and it'll be interesting to see how that progresses with her character going forward, because obviously you'd assume by a certain point she'd kind of be swept up in it all and be like, oh well, you know what, maybe getting home doesn't matter so much because this works for me. But we'll see. Maybe that friction will constantly stay there. I think that, but at the end of the day, it provides an interesting character dynamic when you've got that. I can see why people really like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually as well, like, obviously we've got this tagline, "Get Belinda home," and that this whole story, and it's very much her story, and this season. I like that as well. I mean, compared to last season's opener as well, last year's opener, Space Babes, I thought it was a stronger start. I liked that kind of clean break, rather than coming from like a Christmas special into a season and having like two openers almost. It's like, we're just hitting that ground running here, we're going with this. And the slightly serialised feel it's got as well. Like, it kind of felt like the Halloween Apocalypse meshed with like Smith and Jones or something like that. Like, the shades of these, like, old Russell openers, but with that apocalyptic feel as well, and like kind of end of the universe or whatever the heck's going on with reality and time fractures and everything at the episode's end. So yeah, I like that, and I think that works well. Like, there were interviews with Stephen Moffat, I think, like last year or in recent months, where he was sort of saying, "Oh yeah, I kind of think that's the direction the show needs to go in now, like more serialized." And it's kind of funny to think that like all the while they were kind of like plotting this season, which was kind of a step in that direction anyway. Do you want to touch on Mrs. Flood, maybe? Mrs. Flood.
Yeah, with her fourth wall break, like before the titles had even rolled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not, because I hadn't seen, was it a clip that was released pre the episode
it
going
was,
out?
yes.
A couple of days before it was.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it, so for me watching it, I was like, whoa, gosh, that was like right out the gate. There she is, and she's breaking the fourth wall again, throwing in those mysteries. Why has the Doctor even noticed her yet? Why is she now living next to Belinda? There's all these interesting mysteries that I am really keen to find out, and it kind of seems like they're going to be ramping up the Mrs. Flood stuff. The further we get through the series, which is exciting. Yeah,
It's interesting that you just said there about the Doctor noticing her, because I only clocked during that part of the scene that Ncuti hasn't actually seen her yet. He's not seen her face once. Ruby's met her multiple times, and we've seen her throughout the season. And I sort of...
And Belinda's obviously interacted with her as well.
Yeah. And I had in my head
did the
that they
Doctor not meet her in
met.
the church one?
Oh,
Church one
did they interact
Briefly.
briefly there? Yeah.
But I was going to say as well, actually, on a similar note, I don't think he actually knows her name yet, maybe?
No.
Like, so they have that interaction there, but it's very brief. And
Oh,
like,
they do. Never mind. Forget that. Because
Although
I
did you
thought that
think there wasn't anything
met.
at all? Okay, yeah.
I thought that they hadn't met, and it was going to be a bit like...
Well, he's not spotted her yet around and about. He's not, like,
Yeah.
picked up on the fact that she's in other places as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Never
kind
mind.
of-
I thought it was going to be a bit like in Legend of Ruby Sunday, where with Susan Triad, like if
There's
you,
this woman
if you
again.
saw her, you'd recognise her. But
yeah.
got that they've met already. Never mind. Forget that point. But yeah, it's interesting that she's trying to hide away from him, and why she's the neighbour of another companion. And what role she plays. Apparently, we do find out what her deal is at the end of the season.
Out of interest, before anyone says anything,
Yeah.
am I the only one here who hasn't seen the leaks?
Well, this
Have
is
you guys?
So I've deliberately stayed away from them.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here.
The
I've
only
I've
thing
seen
I
it.
know- I've not seen anything.
Yeah,
The only thing I
obviously
know is
yeah.
the episode 3 thing that everyone was talking about on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Even
stay
that
away.
I've managed to avoid somehow because I've just stayed off
Okay.
Twitter as much as I can.
That's the only thing I know. I don't know anything else. But yeah, I've stayed well clear of it.
Yeah, which I think will. I mean, I enjoyed the 60th much more for doing that. Having not seen anything to do with that. So my logic is, if I just avoid it as much as possible, I can just let the story kind of hit me as it was intended to, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, no one should ever look at leaks and all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely, sometimes it's what gets people on board and excited. And sometimes it can be intentionally done to sort of generate that excitement. But in this instance, I'm kind of really going to try and steer clear and let my own theories kind of form in my head where possible, really.
I sort of learned from the 60th leaks as well, because I remember when the Bi-Generation was leaked and reading that and thinking, A, this sounds like it's made
never
up.
going to happen.
B,
Yeah.
It sounds rubbish.
The mallet with the TARDIS and everything.
And you already make a judgment on it before you've even seen it, right?
Yeah. And then as soon as I think it was at the end of the Star Beast when Donna spills the coffee, and that was in the leak, and I was like, oh, it's true, and reading what was going to happen. Whereas now I don't know what's going to happen, so I can't make any deep judgment, as you say. Yeah,
that's good. That's great.
I'm even staying away for the most part from like preview clips. Like I said, I didn't see the pre-titles bit, even though that had obviously come out. Although I have watched the one from Lux because I couldn't resist watching it. It looks great. I'm already singing the song. It's fantastic.
Mr. Ring-a-ding,
ring-a-ding, da-da-da.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But yeah, I'm just going in cold as much as possible, really, and I'm enjoying it a bit more for that because it's just. There it is on screen, as it was meant to be.
Tell you what, I do want to propose. This isn't a leak, but it's a theory. Have you guys seen the theory about the Doctor being trapped in a TV show and it getting a bit...
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that as an idea?
I mean, it'd be incredibly different, and I would love to see how they'd be able to do something like that. Maybe Mrs. Flood will cancel Doctor Who, and it'll be a whole meta thing, and it'll be maybe they're leaning into that. Maybe Russell's been planting seeds this whole time and teasing stuff in interviews because it's all part of this Masters. I mean, I'd love if that was a thing. Who knows? Like anything, I'd be really intrigued to see how they do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like an interesting idea. I don't know. It feels like one of those things that's kind of gained a lot of traction. Like to the point where fans have kind of almost decided, oh yeah, this is like happening. So I kind of I'd be open to it, but I'm not sure I kind of see it.
I think a lot of it can be the BBC idents as well, where they're in different shows.
That's true.
Yeah, it fuels speculation, and it's. I think so long as we don't go down the route of, like you say, Richard, deciding, oh, okay, that's what's going to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, or when it, whatever, it's sort of like, oh, well, that was a disappointment because it's not what we had planned it to be in a sense, because that sort of ended up happening in a way with all the Ruby Sunday stuff, and it's kind of like, yeah, I love speculation, but I guess some people might be like, well, that's obviously the best outcome, and if it's any different, then we revolt.
I have to admit as well, I don't know how you guys are feeling about the sort of uncertain future past season 2 of Doctor Who, but because we don't know whether or not season 3 is going to happen, at the very least, if it's going to happen soon, I'm just sort of savouring and cherishing what we've got at the moment and just thinking, we've got a full series of Doctor Who, I'm just going to enjoy it. And so... yeah, that's why I stayed away from leaks, and also just I'm trying to look very positively about what we've got because we don't know if we're going to get another full series for a while. And so, yeah, I think
that was kind of my main takeaway from the episode. I was just like, I'm just really glad that it's on telly.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it's here, and
it's new Doctor Who. I'm happy that we've got new Doctor Who now.
And you do get that buzz, don't you? Like, the closer it gets, you're like, oh my God, actually, it's new Doctor Who this Saturday. And I'm glad that feeling never fades, really. That's always it's always there the closer you get, which is exciting.
I was going to say, I've got 12% on my phone, and obviously I've got Wi-Fi issues. My thoughts then vanish. Quite enjoyed the episode. Thought it was good. Definitely a romp. I spoke to somebody that worked on it like on the day beforehand, and they said it was romp, and I would agree it was the romp. Felt kind of partners in crime, Smith Jonesy, Faraday was great. Quite happy they killed Cat. No, I don't kill Cat.
That poor cat.
Yeah. What else? And yeah, there was a cell. Yeah, he died. Yeah, good. Death Twins or something. It's Queen. I enjoyed it. I'm looking for the looks. Good people I'm watching it with. It'll be good fun. These guys. And yeah, I enjoyed it probably a 6 or a 7 or 10. I had it more, I think, the second time around because it felt there was a bit more going. I think the first time felt like it dragged on a little bit, but maybe it was my first time watching it. So yeah, that's me. Goodbye. Unless anybody's got any questions that you want to ask me.
And now Pete gets turned back into a sperm and egg.
That's my what? That's my TED talk. Goodbye.
So yes, Pete has had to leave us. He may have been caught in a time fracture / reality thing /
He had one of these,
Schwab.
and it touched the other one, and then it disappeared.
I meant to
Is
get
that what they said, Schwab?
my star certificate for this. Actually, I completely forgot. I think so. Yeah, Schwab. Yeah, I think it was in Doctor Who magazine a while back, and someone said in an interview, "Oh yeah, like there's something called a Schwab in this series," and that's what it was. Okay, I'll open the floor. Any other particular things about the episode before we, I suppose, get on to broader stuff and like Lux and anything of note?
My main thing was just the first thing that kind of hit me about it was the pace of it. Like the TV I've been watching recently, like Black Mirror and stuff, is so much more. It's not drawn out. That's kind of the wrong word, but it takes its time. And to suddenly jump back into Doctor Who, I realised, wow, it is fast. It is fast paced. Like there is no holding back. Like within the first 5 minutes, we're on the alien planet, and you know, we've had all this backstory and everything like that. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that you have to tune yourself back into the Doctor Who mindset. And I think the more that we watch through this series, the more that you sort of get back into that sort of thing. Because I remember feeling it with Space Babies as well, because that's another really quick, like bang, bang, bang. You know, we've done all this stuff and we're only 5 minutes in. So yeah, the speed of it is quite something. But you really do get kind of whisked away with it. I'm kind of, I feel like I'm in it now. I'm in that. I've attuned myself in to the great Doctor Who brain, and I'm ready for the rest of the series now. So that's kind of the only other comment I had to say, really. Other than that, yeah. Don't know about you, Josh.
I had a sort of similar thing because I've been watching the new Black Mirror as well. Common People's good, isn't it? And Peter Capaldi's good.
It's well, good is one word, depressing is another.
Have you seen Plaything with Peter Capaldi as well?
I have seen Plaything. Peter Capaldi is fantastic in it, but again, it left me feeling very cold and a bit sad about the world.
Yeah, but yeah, the pacing is unlike other things on TV at the moment, which, like you said, isn't a bad thing. The only instance where I thought it was to its detriment, however, was in the opening. A similar thing to actually the Church from Ruby Road, where both instances start with the Doctor sort of already being aware of the companion. The Church from Ruby Road started with him watching over her for a couple of days, and that was sort of never really addressed. Why that?
Yeah, I just realized. I remembered that. Yeah, it was never kind of seeded in later down the line as to why. Yeah, it was just, I noticed that you had bad luck, and that's why I've been following you. Whereas I think the Belinda stuff is more.
I saw you in the club, and
this is a plot point. I saw you in the club. Really dig your vibe.
yeah.
It reminded me very much of that, but luckily later on it was explained that something is going on here. He was told by somebody, we don't know who, to find Belinda. But Definitely at first, when we see that clip that was shown in Unleashed, where he's in the hospital and he's looking for Belinda, I was like, what's going on here? I sort of got a bit of whiplash at first because
Yeah.
how does he know who she is? And um, so I think that maybe, like you say, it's getting used to the pacing of Doctor
Yeah,
Who again.
and,
But I think that
and
that opening was a little bit to its detriment. I think that the fact that it is 45 minutes, people have said, you could give it more time to breathe. And I think maybe that opening needed a little bit more
Yeah,
uh,
interesting. Yeah.
time just to space it out a little bit because I think it did
maybe,
move a little bit too fast for me.
yeah, maybe it's the, and I don't want to sound old when I say this, but like the younger generation of we're talking TikTok viewers who are used to kind of a really quick sort of jumpy, bite-size chunks of things. Maybe it's for that generation, this is kind of the pace that just works to get you hooked in, with a really bam bam opening. I mean, maybe that was the same for us when we were watching, Smith and Jones and trying to think of other sort of quick opening. Like Pandorica Opens has that really fast opening, and for us, because we were just of that age, like that was that was the speed that we were used to. So maybe this is actually faster, but it's what the younger audiences are kind of used to. I don't know, but like I said, I feel like we're in it now. We've gone.
Yes.
Ah, yes, this is. I've dialed my speed up to 11, and now I'm on the same wavelength now. Yeah.
No, that's interesting because I think I was watching it and I quite liked actually the opening. I didn't have too much of an issue with it really. I can kind of see, oh yeah, maybe they could have spent a bit more time looking at the hospital and stuff or whatever. But I kept looking at my watch, kind of thinking, oh, like when's the title sequence going to come on? Like, I guess that's what they were probably thinking. Like, oh, we need to hit that beat of having the titles like with the Belinda line because it's quite like it must be like 6 or 7 minutes or something. I think before that happens, it's one of the longer pre-titles bits that we've had. But yeah, I think there definitely was stuff cut from it because there was like an image released as part of the promo pics of Belinda with like one of her colleagues at work on a bench or something like outside. So I'm not sure what that's from, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there was stuff. Maybe like I say, more stuff at the hospital or just a little bit more in there, and they kind of thought actually we want to reach that point slightly quicker with the titles. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's people have been pointing out as well. Like, I think Lux is like 42 minutes, and this was like under 45. It's one of those really.
Lux is 42 minutes.
I think so.
Wow.
I kind of look at those actually, the kind of plates and think, oh, like that's one of those really like Doctor Who fan things to do, like saying it's like it's 44 instead of 45 or 43 or whatever.
Yeah,
and of course we're used to that.
Like, that we're missing.
Like in the original Russell era and the Moffat era and stuff, like there would sometimes be like a few minutes under, like 41 or 42. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the Well is like 47. So like
we're making up for
we're
that
back
lost time.
We're making up for it. Yeah. God, that's such a nerdy Doctor Who thing to say, isn't it? But yeah, should we turn to Lux then briefly? I suppose if that's everything for the Robot Revolution. This looks really fun. I think as we've already said slightly already. I kind of wondered like, seeing the cartoon stuff with like Mr. Ring-a-Ding and some of the shots there of like him blended with the live action stuff before we saw the preview clip, I was kind of thinking, oh, like how is this going to go? Is it going to feel a bit weird? But having seen the clip, the song, having seen reviews as well, which look to be very positive, saying it's like kind of era defining episode, this one, and it's I'm excited for this. I think it'll be a good one. Kind of like Devil's Chord vibes, but like with cinema, animation, light instead of music.
It's on a technical level. I'm really excited to see how they do it. Obviously, we've had that little clip to see, like you say, Richard, like this is kind of how it's going to be done in terms of integrating that 2D animation. But like, it's fantastic. I there's something so exciting about seeing Doctor Who do something like this. Obviously, it's been done plenty of times in the past. Who Framed Roger Rabbit and all those sort of classic films which merge the 2D animation style with the live action stuff. But to see Doctor Who do it, it's been a long time coming, and here we are. And from what we've seen so far, it's a beautiful technical feat. I love Mr. Ring-a-Ding's look. It's a great name. I love his look. Very kind of Cuphead classic vibe. Really fluid animation. So, from that standpoint, I'm really excited to see how it looks. Because this era is the one thing that it always gets praised for is how it looks. It looks lush every week. There's no question about that. So I'm hugely excited to see how they pull off this amazing sort of character in this next one. Yeah.
Absolutely, me too. And I remember when we did our Joy to the World roundtable and we saw the clip of Mr. Ring-a-Ding coming out of the cinema screen, and we were saying, I think you said, Miles, like, I hope that this isn't just like a one-off scene and that's like the villain of the episode. And it is. It's the episode revolves around this cartoon character, and I'm really excited. As you say, it's a great technical feat. It's all, I believe, like frame by frame drawn animation.
It looks to be, yeah.
It's fantastic, and
I can't wait for Unleashed and hearing how they've done it as well.
Yes, that would be so good.
They'll have a field day with that, won't they?
Yeah.
Stefan Powell.
I've got to say though that.
So how did they create Mr. Ring-a-Ding? Let's find out.
The Unleashed clip for Lux. I mean,
I was pumped. I was so pumped.
That door. I mean,
psyched me. Yeah, oh god.
Psyched me up. I'm a little bit not disappointed, but I'm surprised that they haven't shown more of Mr. Ring-a-Ding in the trailers and the marketing.
Maybe they just want to preserve a bit more of.
I suppose so. Because even with like, the next time trailer, they save him right till the end, don't they? It's like like with the Unleashed clip, it's like the Dr. and Belinda in Miami opening a door or whatever, and then like right at the end, it's like ta-da. So I guess they're trying to preserve that, and I guess we shall see like what else happens with that in the animation and there's so much potential to do stuff with it, isn't there? So
and how the character kind of weaves in with it, because again, like you said, Richard, it's like the Devil's Cord in the sense of, for one thing, we're in the past again. There's a kind of stuff going on with sort of media, and even the Doctor in that clip tells, "Oh no, cut," and then he's like, "Hang about, who am I saying cut to?" And that's an interesting beat that. Again, sort of smacks of the Devil's Cord, kind of, that was non-diegetic, that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
We've seen, obviously, from on-set photos and now other photos of the cinema outside with is it the Harvest Bringer?
The Harvest Bringer, yeah.
Which is the film that they're showing. I wonder what letters will fall off and what that will form. So, that's going to be really interesting to see how this ties into the Pantheon and what kind of, to what degree this episode has an effect on the rest of the series as well.
I think you're right, and I think it will be very much like the Devil's Cord in that we might get some quite playful nods in terms of how we have Maestro playing the Doctor Who theme on the piano. I thought we might get some kind of animated gags about Doctor Who as a show, perhaps. Maybe it would be fun if there was some kind of way to link Mr. Ring-a-Ding to the animated like
reconstructions and
Dreamland.
Okay. So I'm thinking missing episodes as well. There's like the photo of the guy holding a film reel. I'm thinking, are they going to like take shots at people who, have all that stuff in their sheds or whatever, and outletting back into the public domain?
That's
and
low hanging fruit. I feel like it must have crossed Russell's mind if he hadn't done it.
I reckon.
You're right though. I wonder if they're going to do like something with the title sequence, whether they'll animate it or do something really funky with that. Obviously, we've seen the Doctor and Belinda get 2Dified at some point, and
looks so
I heard
cool.
something about that Ncuti and Verada had to kind of, it was like motion capture or something like that, and they had to redo the sort of animated movements, like the big exaggerated thing. And they watched all the episodes of Scooby-Doo to kind of get that vibe. So it seems like this, again, from behind the scenes level, they've really put a lot of thought into this one, and it's going to be a real kind of craft to behold. So yeah, I keep going on about it, but from the technical level, this is going to be a really interesting one to see.
Which, not to like get ahead of ourselves and wish this episode away, but
I think you're going to say exactly what I was just about to say as well, Josh. Yeah.
The Well is apparently the most. They said the most technically challenging episode that they made of this season. So this seems like it was mad enough of a production. So what on earth's going on in episode 3?
Again, a bit like how Boom was, here's the big technical aspect of the screens and visual kind of,
and the challenge of that premise as well. It looks to be a similar sort of thing, doesn't it? Like, something demanding.
Yeah. How are we going to pull this off? I'm really excited for The Well. I mean, out of what we've seen so far, and for the rest of the series, which would each of you say is the one that you're like, this is the episode that I'm most excited for? Like, is it Lux or is it something later down the line? Because I personally, I mean, as a Ruby Sunday lover, I love the idea that we're going to be getting another one, sort of solo one for her. So I'm really looking forward to Lucky Day. I think that's kind of my top of my list in terms of what I'm excited for story wise.
Yeah, it's difficult because they've all kind of got something going for them. I think that's one of the pros maybe of having a shorter run, if there are any. Like, is that like it means that every episode is like really kind of there's distinct thing about it. And it's like, this is this one, this is like the Eurovision one, this is the Miami animated one or whatever. They do kind of each feel like a little mini movie or whatever. I think for me, I mean, obviously I want to enjoy the journey, but I kind of want to just get to the end and see like who Mrs. Flood is, or like what ends up happening there, what old villain, because there's surely, like, without, I'm not even, not leaked or anything, but like, even without, there's surely going to be some kind of old villain, another like Tales of the TARDIS. I would have thought, like, like following the template set by last season. So I just kind of want to see what that is and what the hell's going on there with like the bone beasts and all that kind of stuff. All these random tidbits that we've heard about and the reality war. Josh, how about you?
I just had to get up a list of the episodes.
Forgotten.
I think that I'm excited for the episode in the middle that Russell hasn't written, just to see different voices.
So what's that one called? Because I forget the name of one of them.
So it's The Well, Lucky Day, The Story and the Engine is the one I forgot.
Right. Interesting title, yeah.
Yeah,
very weird.
The Interstellar Song Contest by Juno Dawson, which apparently the Interstellar Song Contest went through I think it was 9 drafts.
Right.
That's been the most sort of worked on. I think Russell said in DWM that the story behind that episode, episode 6,
could fill pages
fill whole pages of DWM at some point of getting it made.
Well, I think it's one of the ones that he wants to do. Like when he came back in, he was like, "We're going to work up to this. We're going to get all the infrastructure and everything in place first, and then do it when we can manage it and we've got everything sorted." I think it's been in development for quite a while. Yeah,
and I'm really excited for that episode as well. I'm not expecting that to blow me away, but I think it will be a lot of fun. But the Story in the Engine, I'm very curious by.
That's probably the one we know the least about in terms of more than what we've seen in the trailers, right? Is that the one with the big spider?
So. The barber shop and missing people. Yeah, just
Right,
bits and pieces.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So that would be interesting from a standpoint of not knowing much going into it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Apart from the
Yeah.
fact that the spider blows up, which I don't know why they put in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
Unless it's
I wonder whether
unless it's not
there are
relevant.
other creatures where maybe that's just like the first 10 minutes or something, and then like they go on a journey where it's like
Yeah,
other stuff
I'd
from
hope that.
folklore or whatever, that kind
Yeah.
of thing maybe. Because I'd
hope that was why they did it, because
the explosion. It's like
Yeah, it's a hell of a strange thing to. I mean, you get why they're like, oh, we need a big end to this trailer. Let's pop in something exploding. But you're right. If that is the very end of the episode, it's an interesting choice. So I'm hoping that they're cleverer than that, and
something
they're
else
like,
up their
no,
sleeve
that,
for that. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. I'm sure there'll be a reason for it. Hopefully.
Not to dwell too much on the leak as well,
Yeah.
but if what people are saying about episode 3 is true,
Yes.
I'll be interested to see how they do it and if it lives up to expectations. Because
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah,
Being careful with my words, but yes.
yeah, being very careful.
Again, I have no
I think
idea. I have no idea.
There'll be a lot riding on it if it's true,
Yeah.
that they don't mess it up. I think so. I'm interested to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good fun
Interesting.
because like there are some videos I've done on the channel where like literally like this I'm like I'm not going to say a word, I'm going to keep this spoiler free, and there are other ones where I've like I'll like with Joe, I did one recently where I was like, oh, we're just going to discuss it all, give a spoiler warning, so that it's nice to have those two different sides to it where it's like, okay, yeah, depending on who I'm with, we'll
Yeah.
we'll
seen
tailor
Unleashed?
the discussion.
Censored version.
Censor
and
it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the Unleashed for Robot Revolution, Miles?
I've not actually. No, I've not seen either of
Okay.
the behind the scenes things. I just saw the looks clip at the end.
Okay.
Because I was keen to see that, and I'm glad I
Okay.
did.
Cool. Cool.
But why is there other stuff in Unleashed that reveals
Russell
stuff?
makes
Or
a sort of comment that sort of hints
Oh
toward.
yeah, where he's at his
Right.
dining table or whatever. Yeah.
okay,
His cup of tea.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe I mean, I'll definitely give it a watch. That's been officially put out there, so
Yeah.
it's safe for public consumption as far as I'm concerned. So I'll definitely I'll give that a watch.
I feel like it's a nice kind of plot thread we've got going here now of like
Yeah,
watching Miles' reaction to it as it
Yeah,
assuming it's
that's
true,
the
assuming
thing.
it's true as it
Yeah,
kind of
I'd like
it's nice
to
to
be.
have that. Yeah.
I like to be the control in all of these
Yeah.
these
like an
experiments.
experiment,
I
yeah.
want to be the one who knows nothing, and then
Sure.
I can react in my
And
own
I
way.
mean, you know more than me, Richard. I've only seen this because on Twitter, like people just kept talking about it, and I couldn't really shield myself from it. But
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing you know more about later in the season. And
I've seen the full thing again, assuming it's true. The thing with it was this particular post or page or whatever. They said like, oh, there's going to be it's not a spoiler because it's already happened. There's going to be like a scene with Belinda and her boyfriend, and it's to do with the star certificate or looking into space or whatever. And that
I
obviously
believe you spoiled that for me.
I'm so
Can't
sorry,
believe
but
you
like
done
I watched that bit blindfolded.
but yes, now I think this is what people are thinking. And now that's ended up being true, and we'll see as we go through the series with things like episode 3. Does it make the other stuff more likely? I'm not taking anything for granted. Like it could be partially rubbish, or like there's bits of truth in there, but not the whole thing. And yeah, again, kind of keeping an open mind and not getting like wedded to a particular idea of what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's exciting stuff. I think if that does end up happening, so we'll see. And one day we'll be able to discuss it all
Yes.
properly and say, oh, that's what it was maybe going to be, or that's what the leak was, and it wasn't true. And yeah, all good fun. So I suppose on that note, talking about our different approaches, a fitting way to end. This round table review, we got a bit of everything, bit of different viewpoints, different attitudes to it. Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments below about the Robot Revolution and your spoiler-free predictions for the rest of the series and for Lux as well,
Miles
which will
would say.
be be very
Yeah, for my sake,
for
please.
very be broadcast very, very soon at the time this goes out. Not long at all to go. Thank you both for joining me. Thank you to Pete as well, wherever he's gone. In
I don't know
spirit.
about you guys, but just talking about this has genuinely got me excited for the rest of the season. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's just
I always
hit me.
feel even more excited when we chat about it. I think that it always it kind of gets out the feelings that you actually are feeling rather than just sort of sitting there in your head. You're actually voicing it all. You know, I always get more excited. So that's a great. That's if nothing else, this is what these roundtables are great for. They really get me hyped up for the next one. So yeah, I hope that all of you guys watching are hyped up too. So yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah,
Roll on Lux.
There we go.
roll on Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
Exciting stuff, Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
I'm Mr.
Mr.
Ring-a-Ding.
Ring-a-Ding.
I don't know the rest of the song.
Autograph. Whatever
Have
it
you got
is.
the new DWM? There's a comic strip where Mr. Ring-a-Ding meets the Easter Bunny.
His debut, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is so cool. I would
Yeah.
get Doctor Who magazine just to read that. That's fantastic. Wow. I
Yeah.
love that. He's already my favourite character, and I've only seen one scene with him.
He's already got a spin-off.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Wait, no, I'm holding it the wrong way.
Of course, yeah. Sorry. My mistake, yeah.
No, I'm leaving.